So let's start with the design of the plate girders. So this one is the first topic in design of steel structure 2, design of the plate girder. So first we will learn about the introductory part of the plate girders and what are the plate girders and what are the different kinds of the plate girders we have, and how we can construct that girders, which kind of sections that we will use to construct these kind of the girders, and all these we have to learn in this section. So we all know that the plate girders is essentially a built-up beam and to carry the heavier load over the longer span. So I think you all know about the plate girder, and you people hear about the plate girder as well, which is basically, we can say that this one is the built-up beam. So the built-up beam topic that we have also completed in the DSS 1, in which we design the beams with the one or more sections, with the help of the one or the more sections and the combination of that section. So that kind of beam is basically is known as a built-up beam. So so the plate girder is essentially a built-up beam to carry the heavier loads over the longer span. So there are so many examples of the plate girder that you can see in your steel structure construction. Like we can say that in the case of the railways, then we have the road bridges and the railway bridges. So along the span bridge below the deck slab. So these kind of girders which we are used to support the deck slab and all kind of the load, all kind of the heavier load there. Okay, so this is just like the built-up beam, this girder. So we have the various component of this plate girder. Like here you can see, first one is the flange plate will be there. This one is the flange plate we have. Then we have the web plate. Then we have the stiffeners, the splices. Then we have the curtailment of the plates, angles, and the packing plates. So each of the component of this plate girder has their own importance and their own function. And basically, each of the component that will support the all different kind of the load that will be active on that section. So the design of all these component is very necessary, and so that we can make the safe plate girder against the heavier load along the long span. So here in this picture that you can see this is the section we have in the form of girder. Like you can see here the I section like that. So in the case of the DSS 1, what we did there, we just selected the whole section, the whole I section from the steel table. Okay, like we know that as per the area required and as per the and against the load, so we choose that section from the steel table, and then we will use in the design. So same like that here, we have to design this whole section. Okay, in which this one is the flange portion. We all know that this one is the flange portion here. This is the web portion. This one is the web portion. This is again the flange, and this one section that will be made. This whole section that will be made. So here along this, these are the stiffeners which we are provided at the center of this plate girder along the web section. So this is the web section we have, and we have the two kind of the stiffeners there, the longitudinal stiffener and the transverse stiffener. So that stiffeners that we are generally provided along the generally provided to prevent the buckling along the web section, and to prevent the all and to take the all kind of the shear forces along these sections, and also to take the load which is coming through this which is basically that will be act through this flange section and go through and the pass through this web section there. Okay, so all these components that are very necessary to resist all kind of the loads that you can see here in this picture. So in this picture that again we have, this one is the span length there, and you can see here the end stiffener, like the end stiffener here, the one stiffener which is provided along this section. This is the whole eye section again. So this is the flange that you can say that, and this one is the plate above that, the flange section. When the first here we have this single section, then these two angle section that you can see, which is connected with this one plate along both the side, and then we have two plates above that. So the whole thickness, the whole size of this section, which is making with the help of all these rolled steel sections we have. Okay, so against that, so in this picture, what you can see here, you can see here the splice work here. This is a splicing here, the extra plate that we can provide above the flange and the web section, along the web section there. So this is the splices, like we can also use here the bolt also to increase the thickness of this section. And basically the splicing where we done that, there must be the joint also, and this kind of the splicing that we can use there, and that will provide the extra and that will provide the extra safety against the more bending moment and the shear along the web section. So the movement and the bending that will be taken by this flange section mainly, and the shear that will be taken by this web section. Okay, so this kind of the splices that we use there. We have also a picture of the splice work. So here you can see this is the plate girder which we are placing in between the two span, and here you can see the splicing of the plate girder by the bolting with the bolting is doing here. So this is called the splicing here. So this section, like the first we have to do the hole. There will be the hole in that plate, and then we are joining with the bolting there, the bolted connection which we are providing in between the splices and the flange plate, as well as on the web plate also. Okay, so this kind of the splicing work that we also do in the case of the plate girders. Is that clear to all? Yes. So in the previous slide, I was talking about the web stiffeners and the end stiffener and the intermediate stiffeners there. So this kind, like this one is a section of the plate girder that you can see from this side. This is the flange part, and this is the D. This is the depth of that section, you can say that. And these are the end stiffeners. These are the end stiffener that the stiffener at the last of this plate girder, at the end of this plate girder, that is known as the end stiffener, and this is the intermediate stiffener in between that, and this is the horizontal stiffener. So this is the web portion where we are providing the stiffener there. Okay, so that they can resist the shear buckling. They can resist the web buckling due to the shear and along this web section. And this one is the side view of this section we have, that you can see here. So then we have the tension field action basically will be there. And this tension field action that will be due to so here you can see the side elevation of the plate girder and the stiffener spacing will be there. This is the longitudinal stiffener which we are provided. This is the end post there we have and the flange and beam section. So the tension field action that acts due to the by increasing the depth of the beam, and the second movement of the area VDQ by 12 is increased, and therefore the section bending moment capacity is increased. The depth of the beam should be in the region of the 10 by span to the 20 by span. So, whatever the length of the span we have, the depth of the section that will be vary in between these two values. We have the 10 by span to the 20 by span, and when you will increase that depth, the second movement of the area that will be increased there, and the section bending moment capacity that will also will be increased there. Then we have this kind of the deep girders, like we can also use there the 3 plates will be there, then the welded or the bolted connection where the rolled sections are not enough, usually the 3 feet to 20 feet deep girders in which, and the WWF sections in the handbook that can be used, the weighted section that we can say that the web buckling will be there, and we will provide the stiffeners as well, and the variables will be there. So this kind of the plate girder that you can use there, in which we have the flange section, then we have the web section and the stiffeners as well, and the other rolled steel sections that you can use there along this plate girder. So here you can see the stiffened and unstiffened section of the plate girder. Like here, the unstiffened plate girder, here you can see not any kind of the stiffener will be there. And here you can see the plate girder with the stiffened, the transversely stiffened plate girder, in which we have the end post also. And here we have both the transversely and the longitudinal stiffened plate girder there. Okay. So at the section 1-1, this is the section 1 that you can see along this, along this, where we have not any kind of the stiffener there. So this is unstiffened plate girder. Like, so there will be less shear when there will be less chances of the shear, less chances of the web buckling due to shear. So there we not need to provide the stiffener there. So that's why this kind of stiffener, the unstiffened plate girder, we will provide there. Okay, so this kind of section that you will see in that case, the web plate will be there, and this is the basically the welded connection which we are provided along the flange and the web section there. This is the A section along, and when you will see through this side, you will get this kind of the section. Then we have the transversely stiffened plate girder, in which we have the BB section that you can see here along this side, and along the B side where we have the transversely stiffened girder. So this part, so this stiffened girder along this side that you can see from here, and in the C side that, and from this side that you can see this section along the CC section here we have, and along the D side, along the DD section, when we are providing as well the longitudinal stiffener, longitudinal stiffen there with the transverse stiffeners. So this stiffened, this is the longitudinal stiffener there. Okay, and this is basically is the end plate that you can see here, the end post here. This is the longitudinal stiffener. This is the intermediate transfer stiffeners that you can see from here. Here you can see this one is the intermediate transfer stiffener. So these are all the intermediate transfer stiffeners there, and these two are the end post. So that's why you're writing here EP is the end post and ITS is the intermediate transfer stiffeners. This one. Okay, so all these four sections that you can see here. So section AA and BB, in which only the transfer stiffener there. Section C, in which we have section C, in which only the intermediate transfer stiffeners that you can see from section C, and these are the two end posts that you can see from section BB. And in the case of the section D, DD, this intermediate transfer stiffeners that you can see with this longitudinal stiffeners will be there. Okay, is that clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So here you can see the shear stud for the composite construction. So like above the plate girder, so you can see in the bridge constructions, like, so this is the shear stud that we will provide above the flange section for the composition for the composite construction. Like there will be the slab, there will be the deck slab above that, and the concrete will be cast with this shear studs as well. Okay, so that's why we call the shear stud for the composite construction. So below that we have, this is the plate girder, and this and these are the stiffeners that you can see here. Okay, and this kind of the construction that you can also see. So above that there will be shuttering and this shear stud above that shuttering, so that we can cast with the concrete. So this whole deck slab that will be casted under this shear studs. Okay, is that clear to all? Then here the next one, we have the monosymmetric I section plate girder. So here we can see this kind of the bolting that we can use there in the I girders like this, and this is the flange plate we have along that you can see in this picture. Then we have the monosymmetric, the crane girders, in which you can see that this kind of the delta girders and the tubular top flange, the top girder that you can also use in the case of the plate girder by the combination of this plate girder. So this kind we have so many types of the plate girders as per the usage there. Yes, here you can see this picture, the plate girder with the haunches, like so. This kind of the haunches that we can use above that, the plate girder. So these are the haunches there, and for the tapered kind. So in the most of the hilly areas, in between the two spans, that you can see this kind of the plate girder that we can use here to maintain the height, that bridge. And this is the crank there. This is the taper portion there, not the splices not shown there, camber not shown, variation in the flanges not shown, the variation in web not shown there, the variation is the material strength not shown. The plate girder with the haunches, tapers, and the cranks that you can see. Only the stiffeners that you can see from this side, like so. This kind of the taper part of the plate girder that you can make due to this haunches. You have when you have to join with the haunches there. And this is basically supporting by this pier at the mid of that. The RCC pier will be there. So like here we have the light sections like the hollow plate girders in which you can see the cutting. These kind of the cuttings will be there. The hollow in the form of rectangular and the circular shapes of the cutting and from the web section. So these kind of the light sections that we can use there, the less chances of the shear buckling will be there. So these kind of the section that we can use there. The plate girder with a hole for services and the various kind of services that we will provide with the help of this whole plate girder there. These are the bridge girder that you can see here, like this one in this picture that you can see we are lifting this plate girder with the help of the crane girder there. And this kind of the girder that we have to place below the span to take the load there. So this is the flange section there that you can see. This is the intermediate stiffeners or the transfer stiffeners along that. This is the web section. This is the end post there. So the last slide which we already discussed along the sections. So here you can see in this kind of bridges like that. So taking the load and the single plate girder which we which we can place along the width of this bridge, and we have to place along, this is the length of that plate girder, and there will be the number of the plate girder like and 3 and 4 plate girders with some spacing will be there along the width of this bridge. Okay, is that clear? Then the beams in the bridges, like here you can see the beams in the bridges like same in the form of beam. In the form of beam, we are using here the plate girder. So this kind, you can see the plate girder there along the width of the bridge. Okay, and this is the whole length of that plate girder, the length of the span in between the two piers. Same here, you can see here we are joining the this ram portion with this span from here, and we are using here the plate girder, and above there will be the deck slab, and that will take the load that will come due to the moving vehicles. Okay. So next one, again, we have so many pictures of the beam in bridges that you can see here. These are the plate girder below the railway track bridge. And again, these are the girders which we use below the bridges. These are the girders here in the tapered form to maintain this and to maintain this height of the bridge, so that they can also use for the navigation purposes as well. Okay, so this kind we have so many examples of the plate girders that you can see these steel structures. Here we have some pictures of the plate girders. here, like for the railway bridges as well as for the road bridges. So these kind of the girders that you can construct there. So very heavy loaded constructions for the very heavy load where we use these kind of the plate girders. So in railways, you will find out the so many example of this plate girder. We use that in the steel sections, the heavy steel sections which we are used to support the heavy bridges. So this kind we can also do the fabrication work. So the first in the case of the design, after the designing, we when you will find out the size of all this whole section. Okay, so this is not just we are taking any size of this component, the flange section and the as well as the web section. The first we have to design this section and then we have to fabricate these all. We have to join with the different connections like the bolted as well as the welded connection will be there. So here you can see the fabrication work and how we can transport this heavy rolled steel sections from one place to the other place with the help of these heavy vehicles. Okay, so most of the work for most of the work of the fabrications that is we do in the workshops, and we use very heavy crane girders there, the gantry girders there, and we also use very heavy vehicles to transport these kind of the heavy loaded sections as well. So this is the railway bridge where you can also use the plate girder there. So here you can see this figure and the plate girder in between the two supports, like with the flange and the web section. And these are the fillet welds, which we, with the help of that, we joined this whole section there. Then we have the different types of the buckling depending upon the width by the thickness ratio. We have the web and flanges have the different limit will be there. Then the end condition for the plate segment. So the buckling that will depend upon these factor. So here you can see the pictures for the box girder, like we have. So this kind of the portion that will be buckled due to the shear stresses will be there. This is the plate girder. Then so this is the flange portion we have. So here you can see some buckled part there. This is the patch loaded web. So against the load, so this kind of the buckling that will be there above the web sections, and the web subjected to the shear. So this kind along the patches, this kind along the web buckling due to the shear that you can observe under the loads. So we have the different types of the buckling depending upon the width by the thickness ratio. Web and flanges have the different limit as well as the end conditions for the plate segment. So all these factors that depend upon the different type of the buckling. So again, you can see here the slender web buckle easily due to the shear or the bending, and use reduced effective effective the cross section we have, and reduce the capacity as well as the capacity we have. So here you can see the tension, the maximum tension that you will get when there will be the tension there, the D/2, and the compression, the maximum compression that will be there, the D/6. So this is the whole depth of the section. So reduce the effective cross section that, and this is the width, the capital B, the width of the flanges and overall depth of the sections we have. The cylinder webs buckle easily due to the shear and bending there. So this kind of the web buckling that you can observe there along this part. So here, like you can see the stiffeners and the end post in between that. So when there will be the load, so this stiffener that will protect against the bearing plate and the web stiffeners that you can see here. So these are all the bucklings that you can observe under the shear stresses. So this kind we provide the bearing plates and the web stiffeners there to resist all this shear buckling. So here you can see against the different kind of the bucklings here, like the shear buckling of the web section along the web section. So this kind of the buckled area that will be there along these stiffeners that we can see here. The lateral torsional buckling of the girder. So this kind of the lateral torsional buckling will be there. So I think you remember that we also designed the laterally supported and laterally unsupported beams there. Okay. So in which the to control the lateral torsional buckling, we restrain that beam. So that's why we call the laterally restrained beams. So that will also resist the lateral torsional buckling. So we have to resist the lateral torsional buckling. We will provide there the web stiffeners as well there. Then we have the local buckling of the compression flange. So this is the buckling along the flange that you can observe under the loads. This is basically the compression buckling of the web that you can see here along this section. This is the web section we have. Then we have the flange induced, the buckling of the web. So due to the buckling of the web, the flange that will be induced there. Then we have the local buckling of the web there due to the uniformly distributed load, due to the concentrated load, as well as the bending. So this kind of the buckling that you will observe during under the different type of the loading conditions. So is that clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So the unstiffened and the stiffened web in which we are providing the stiffeners there. So this kind of the this is basically the buckled portion that you can see. This kind of the shapes that will be formed there under the buckling, under the shear buckling that you can observe there. Okay. The unstiffened, the stiffened web in between that. So like these kind of failures that happened due to the when we are not provide the stiffeners there. So stiffeners are very important to provide against the span length. So this kind of failure could be happen. And this is again, we have the tension field that you can see here. This section, the recall compression and the field action in reinforced concrete beams. And the compression strut, these are the compression struts develop because of the presence of the stirrups there. And the plate girder tension field action develop because of the placement of the vertical stiffeners there. So that will transverse through. So in the case of that tension field action, when you are providing there this vertical stiffeners in between that this inclined stiffeners, so that will maintain these compression forces will be there. And you can see when there will be the load passing through all these member. So this kind of trusses that will be suitable against the tension field action there. The compression strut, like here, and the placement of the vertical and the horizontal stiffeners. So that will help to maintain this tension field action. Okay, thanks.